Good morning, gang. Good morning. Welcome to this week's Bitcoin update. First and foremost, remember, nothing discussed today is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and all of this is just for educational purposes only. And now that we've got that out of the way, let's jump straight into the Bitcoin chart, shall we? So, we're going to cover off, obviously, what we talked about last week, what's been happening in the group, talk through some trades so you can learn from it. And then we are going to move on to what I'm looking at next, because we're in a very interesting area. Okay. So first and foremost, let's talk about last Thursday's video. Was it Thursday? Yes, it must have been Thursday. So last Thursday, we were hovering when we were recording the video. We were hovering down here. Okay. Now where we were hovering at the range lows at the time. So let's just zoom out a little bit. Well, in fact, it was just below the range lows. So let's just draw this range back on. Come back in. And I gave a huge speech, huge bit of moaning / alpha / whatever you want to call it about, while we were down here, while we were down in this region, I had no intention of jumping into a trade. And I was saying to everyone, and I was saying to my team beforehand, and I was saying to you guys on YouTube, that I don't want to be rushing into a position here. Okay? I want to see what the market tells me first before I get into a position. Okay, so within this whole little consolidation here, I had one scalp trade out of it, and that's the scalping strategy that I actually shared with the members on Tuesday's live stream. So if you want to find out what that high win rate scalping strategy is, then come join our Discord. But aside from that, there was nothing else to be taken down here on a higher time frame. Okay, so what I was saying in last week's video, we just zoom this out in a little bit, we can see. Last week's video, what I wanted to see is I wanted to see a sign of strength. So I wanted to see us get back in the range, retest the range low, give me the entry trigger, and then trade it up to EQ as a TP1. And if it gets above EQ, then I'll be looking for those range highs. Okay? So that's what I was looking for. And I was no interest in trading down here at all. Okay? Now, let's just remove these things from the chart. Go back in, and obviously this is from the YouTube update itself. So what happened in the end? So after this drop, we finally moved back into the range, came back down, and we had this perfect retest, absolutely perfect retest of the lows. Okay, and then after that retest of the lows, over the weekend, we squeezed up into the EQ. Okay, this is the beauty of range trading. You know, it's very simple. The hardest part about this whole process is this part here. Just sitting on the sidelines and waiting for the market to show its hand. Okay? The options were quite simple down here. Either A, take out these lows, swing failure pattern, reclaim, change market structure, and again, I still want to see that sign of strength up here. Or B, turn around from here. Okay? Or obviously C, the alternative was, it was just going to roll over. Okay? So I had plans for any direction, okay? Plans for any direction. Would I have shorted this backtest here? No, because that's not how I trade. Technically, that would have been a breakout trade, and I don't trade that way, okay? I'm still holding shorts from up here, and I'm still holding shorts from up here, okay? I don't need to trade this breakout, because most breakouts, as we know, are just deviations, okay? When you've got an established range like this, don't trade the breakout, just trade the outer extremities of the range in the opposite direction, okay? It's difficult to get your head around, especially as a new trader. But, you know, if you'd have done that, there you go. In the end, you got yourself a 5-hour trade, okay? So let's say you were risking, I don't know what your trading balance is. Let's say you were risking $100. You made $500 in that trade, okay? Simple. If you were risking $1,000, you made $5,000 in that trade, okay? Simple. Rather than trying to long every single dip and try to get involved in a place that's you've got no clarity, you wait for the market to show its hand. Okay, so if you cut that trade, that was a free trade given on YouTube. There you go. Happy days. Right, so now we're going to move into Sunday night. So Sunday night, obviously I come in Sunday night and I give my thoughts. Over the weekend, I don't give an update on Saturday. So Sunday night, I come in and I give my thoughts. Okay, so Sunday, I'm coming into the group and we are hovering roughly around here, this region here. Okay. So I'm coming in and I'm saying if we continue up, taking out the 27,687 naked point of control, so 27,687 was around here. So we had a nice little reaction off it in the first place. Came up, take out this, an SFP could be an option, but I'd want to see that in real time, okay? Above that, range point of control at 28k lines up with the channel, but it's not perfect. Okay, and this is something that I talked about a few weeks ago about the timing of the channel low, the perfection of the channel low. Okay, in the end, didn't actually touch the channel low, wasn't perfect, but close enough, close enough. Okay, this, what did we do? We came up into the range point of control, into the channel, slightly deviated out of it into the golden pocket. Okay, then had the rejection. Okay, now this happened through the night. This was at silly o'clock. This were midnight UTC, so this would be 1 a.m. my time. I'm soundly asleep. Okay, although admittedly the alert did wake me up. But that's Sunday night. Okay, so moving on from then, I'm coming in after a bit more clarity on Monday morning. Okay, waking up. Now I'm saying price pushed up into the range point of control through the night, grabbing the liquidity above May 10th highs. May 10th highs are here. Okay, so what we had is we had a nice swing fairly pattern of these highs here. Swing fairly pattern, took out any stops that were above here. Okay, any short sellers stops, grabbed them. Okay, then had a good reaction so far. If price reclaims weekly open / VWAP, then we can look for another swipe to the upside into the range EQ around 28.6. Obviously, we talked about that range EQ because it did slightly front run it. Okay, so for me, my whole bias for Monday's day was if we manage to get back above weekly open, then chances are we're going to have another swipe at these highs. Because above this weekly open, there's not much there. There's no structure built there. It's literally just a big deviation we can back down. So my whole bias is if we get above there, then we can be looking for higher prices. Okay, so I'm talking guys through. Again, there's no trade there. There's no trade there to be had. All I'm saying is if we get above weekly open, then we can look for higher prices. Okay, that then leads into Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday things changed. So Monday we know was a bank holiday, and it was one of the rare bank holidays where it's a bank holiday in the US and in the UK. Not sure about Europe, but yeah. So markets were closed. It was fairly quiet, hence nothing happened. So Tuesday, okay, US market opens again today. No real change from yesterday, referring to the plan. Okay, the 80-20 didn't play out, and therefore we have a fresh MPOC at 27,188, which was to do with if we did have a drop down on the Monday, then we had an 80-20 set up in play. But we didn't get that in the end, so it left a naked point of control. Okay, so to the upside locally, where they have fresh daily at the weekly open, we also had a fresh daily on that exact level. Okay, if this gives a good reaction, I'll be looking for shorts. Okay, above that, same as yesterday, range EQ. Okay, and above that, 29k region. Okay, to the downside, the weekly region still remains my strongest support, which is this line down here. Okay. Then I'm coming back into the group later on that day because there was something significant that happened. Okay. This whole move up, if you'd have just been reading the data on exo charts, on footprints, on Bybit, okay, then you would have probably thought that this was a healthy uptrend. Okay, because there was nice open interest building. Okay, CVD was positive. Lots of longs coming into this. But one thing that I did take into account when I was seeing this happening in real time, okay, is there was a big difference between the spot CVD and perps CVD. So by perps, I'm referring to, like, for example, the inverse futures. I'm also looking at the standard USDT futures. So we can see I've got 3 different CVD lines on this chart here. Okay. And what I'm noticing as prices coming up here is there's a big difference. So the yellow line, if you guys can see that, hopefully you can see that on your screen. The yellow line is spot. Okay. The red line is USDT. And the blue line is the Bybit inverse perps. Okay, well, it's actually the aggregate. Okay, and we can see here, spot selling off while perps are moving up. Okay, so this is where I'm pointing this out to the guys. There's a big difference. A little bit later on, another couple of hours have passed, and I'm saying, still watching spot. This whole move up is driven by perps. This is not a healthy sign. Okay, it's never a healthy sign. If perps are trying to drive a rally and spot's not following, then chances are it's going to result in a reversal. Okay, so what I'm noticing at this time is we're coming up into that weekly open region. We're coming up into previous day value area high. We're coming up into the point of control again for the whole range, the point of control. So there, for me, we've got a short trigger. Okay, in the end, that short came down. Where did it come down to? Value area low, weekly region. Okay, which, as I've put here on Tuesday's plan, to the downside, the weekly region remains my strongest support. Okay. Simple as that. So out of that, you had a nice trade, 6R if you'd held onto it the whole way down. You took profits along the way. Obviously, that would have been reduced, but either way, very good profitable trade. Okay, so that's Tuesday. Now, Wednesday, we didn't really have a setup. This morning, we have come into that weekly region, which is an area of interest for me, and so far we have had a bounce. I have entered a long down here. However, I am conscious that we've come down to this range low many, many times. Okay, right, before we get into what I'm looking at next, couple announcements. First announcement is today's video sponsor is BingX. BingX are a partner that we've been working with for quite a while now. So on Bing, you can trade crypto, but you can also trade stocks, forex, commodities, all using crypto as collateral. And the reason why we brought these guys on board is because there's no KYC, and I know some of you guys can't trade KYC on Bybit with us for various location regions, or you might just not like KYC in general. So BingX is one of our partners of choice. Again, we've been working with these guys now for roughly about 2 or 3 months, and so far so good. So obviously, if you guys want an exchange that's non-KYC, then check out the links down in the description. Now that's that one. The other announcement, obviously, is if you do want these updates that we give in real time, okay, and you want access to all the educational material, and again, there's a hell of a lot of it, then come over to our website, spitfiretraders.com. Links down in the description. First and foremost, join our free Discord, okay? Pick up as much free alpha in the free Discord as you can, okay? If you really want to take your trading to the next level, then come check out our TA course, okay? Within this, we've got over 100 hours of educational content covering everything from absolute basics through to advanced trading techniques. You know, we've got the footprint charts, using, for example, exo charts like we use, you know, how to manage trades, Elliott wave theory, you know, altcoin, various strategies for altcoins itself, whether that's swing or scalping or day trading, various different strategies for altcoins. And then we've also, as of this week, we've just started our actual strategy range, our strategy module, shall we say, starting off with the one strategy that I gave, which gives us a setup below the range that I alluded to at the start of this video. And we'll be adding to this as moving forward. So there's actually a playbook of strategies that you can work from. Okay, so that's the announcements out of the way. So now, what am I looking at next? Let's get straight into it. Right, how long have I been recording? For 12 minutes. Let's rush through this. So, you guys know we've got this range. Okay, we've had another perfect backtest of this range again this morning. Now, one thing we've got to take note of, and we've got to be aware of, as much as I have taken along from this, is this has been now tested a lot. A lot, okay? So if we do start break down and lose this, I'm quite happy to sit on my hands and wait again for a clear sign, okay? Because of how many times it's been tagged. As simple as that, okay? If this holds and we start to rotate back up again, then once again, I'll be looking for that EQ, which will take out these current highs. And if it gets above that, then I'll be looking to grab the liquidity from up here / this range high, okay? If we do manage to get up to this range high, then I'll be looking to at least take out these, okay, as a liquidity sweep at least. And if it doesn't result in this, then we can just look for higher targets, okay? Now, if you guys have been watching us for a while, you'll know where my higher targets are because I've openly shared them, okay? So, basically, we're just trading the local range, okay? Now, what happens if this gives way and we do roll over? Okay, well, if we do roll over, first and foremost, we know that we've got liquidity here. However, I wouldn't realistically be expecting this to happen. If it does happen, great. I will wait till we get back in the range again, and then I'll execute and continue trading the range. Okay, down here is effectively, for me, no man's land. Okay, so if we do roll over, then we're just back to looking at, wrong tool, placeholder range. Okay, now once again, I'm going to emphasize this, is every man and his dog is looking for a perfect backtest on that level for a long. In fact, if you're one of these people that likes looking at the heat maps, you will see heat maps show a lot of orders waiting there, okay? The reason why I don't like heat maps is because it's very easy to spoof them. Price starts coming down to that level, it's very easy for those orders just to disappear, because that's the nature of trading. Okay. So if this does happen and you start to get a change in market structure, fair enough, I'll look for longs. Okay. If not, next option would be come into this sticky zone here, grab the liquidity, then get back out. And then you've got a long trigger there. And again, if you've got the long trigger there, do we get back into this range? Yes, no, yes, cool. Right, we're back to trading this range. If we don't get back into that range, then we're looking to come back down. Okay, that's one option. The other option is quite simply, if that doesn't give any reaction at all, where's my volume profile? If that gives us no reaction at all, quite simply, I'll look for a lower price. Okay, so if this doesn't hold, then first and foremost, we can look, do we get back into value? Yes, no. If we do get back into value, then we'll be looking down at least towards this EQ. Okay, my preference would be in this region down here, ideally somewhere under here, but you've got your EQ, value area high, point of control / these major lows here, big pivotal lows are these ones. Okay, something to pay attention to. And if that doesn't give us a reaction, then we look for range lows. Value area low, sorry, or range lows. Okay, if we start coming down here, then likely is we're grabbing the liquidity from under here. Okay, we're just playing a game of probabilities. That's all we're doing. Okay, level to level. Know where the strongest levels on the chart are, and we only look for trades around those levels. We don't blindly trade the levels either, because we see what happens at those levels. Because we're smart. Okay, if we do break to the upside, then liquidity, then we're coming up into this sticky zone here. Okay, that'll do. Right, how long have we been going? 16 minutes. If you guys have learned something today, and you guys want me to carry on doing these videos, then let us know down in the comments section. Hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. All right, guys, as you were. Bye-bye.